The patrol then deep, then jerk. People ball for them back in the taxi, no matter how slow you go.
We need some help, and not tomorrow or next week. We need it right now.
Damage to car tires, bumpy car rides, and traffic frustration. Potholes and bad roads have become the unavoidable thorn in the flesh of the Jamaican motorists. But why? And can Jamaica turn the page to an era of better roads with new road work projects? Well, Lead Story is here to investigate. Join George Davis from February 10 to 12 at 8 p.m. for our Lead Story special, the story of the Jamaican pothole. See it happen right here on CVM TV. CVM TV and live Jamaica Premier League action on a Monday night. A match made in heaven. We call it Monday Match Night. Catch all the hard-pounding JPL Monday night action from now until the end of the season on CVM TV's Monday Match Night. Matchday Mondays at 7:45 p.m. with a rebroadcast Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Nothing else can quite match up. Monday Match Night, powered by Sunshine Snacks and ABC Electrical.
What would you do if a date asked you how much you weigh?
Ask him how much his mama weigh.
All new Family Feud.
Every time you a link with a condom, coulda husband, coulda wife, coulda be a random. Do it for your best life.
The time by the Ministry of Health and Wellness is
12 p.m.
It's Monday, February 10, 2025. This is CVM News at noon, and I'm Ramon Gordon. Thank you so much for joining us. Now to the headlines. The People's National Party, PNP, has launched a bold challenge of recent polls, purportedly showing it trailing the governing Jamaica Labour Party by 5.8 percentage points. The bombshell figures emerged on social media at the weekend, putting the JLP at 38.5% and the PNP at 32.7%, just months ahead of what's expected to be a historic general contest. The PNP is crying foul, with its General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell questioning the credibility of the figures in a press release. Here's a post from the opposition leader on Sunday.
Call it Andrew, call it, and I man will sound the trumpet.
The latest comes amid rumors that the election could be called by July, a belief fueled by comments from St. Catherine Southwest Central MP Dr. Christopher Tufton at a JLP Area Council 2 meeting in Onotta Bay on Sunday. We'll have more at 7. Ramping up tariffs and threatening more on other countries. Head of the private sector organization of Jamaica, Metro Siaga, sees an opportunity. He says Jamaica can leverage its special economic zones framework to attract new investors.
I think that the special economic zone has done a good job in developing a good platform from which we can branch out as business people. I think what we have not done is we have not gotten the investment here. And that's the component that we need to do. And as I said, this may be the impetus. This may just be what we needed to kick us in the butt to get us over the line. The structure of this special economic zone is there. The logistics-centered economy, everything is in place for. Our wharf is very good. Our location is very good. We speak the language. We have the infrastructure in place. We have good telecommunications. We have stable power. Maybe expensive, but it's stable, which is more important. So I don't buy the argument that we haven't done enough with the special economic zone. It is for businesses, business people to take advantage of it.
Now to this CVM News follow-up, where a recent meeting sought to ease tensions after Maypen taxi operators staged a protest accusing the Transport Authority of harassment. Here's Britannia Witter.
In a bid to resolve ongoing tensions and enhance operations, a meeting was held between members of the Clarendon Taxi Association and representatives from the Transport Authority. The meeting, which took place at the Maypen Police Station, focused on a range of issues, including summons dispute, badge licensing requirements, and parking challenges in the transport centre. A number of police operators as well as key figures from the Transport Authority were in attendance. One of the primary points of contention raised by taxi operators was the alleged unfair treatment from the Transport Authority.
You harassing me same way. And when you see me out there, you still stop me and harass me. Same way. My vehicle, transport check my vehicle day to day now, and I wonder why now. And it's the same one, it's not a different me.
The Transport Authority acknowledged the concerns and presented several potential solutions.
What I'm going to do is allow for you and the regional manager to have the conversation around the 8 summonses. I'm giving him that latitude.
Managing Director of the Transport Authority, Ralston Smith, announced that a handbook to guide taxi operators would be forthcoming.
Something that we're going to take on board and we'll develop within another week or so and distribute electronically to the associations, who will in turn email them out to the operators so that they can have it and know the do's and don'ts of the system. It's important to create that kind of balance in terms of providing the services to the people.
Britannia Wito, CVM News.
The lives of Jesse Ripple Primary School Principal O'Neill Stevens and his wife, Kamisha Lindsay Stevens, were honored on Saturday at a Thanksgiving service at the Cathedral of the Most Holy Trinity in Kingston. The couple tragically lost their lives in South Carolina in the U.S. after being struck by a passing truck while tending to their disabled vehicle. Stevens was remembered for his profound impact on the school community, and he leaves behind 2 children and a legacy of service and dedication. And police in Manchester are investigating the death of 76-year-old Everton Stevens, whose body was found submerged in a water tank near his home in Spurtree on Friday. His daughter, who requested anonymity, said a note left by her father indicated he was being affected by odors from roof repairs at the house and was going for a swim. Concerned after not seeing him, she initiated the search, which led to the grisly discovery.
His grandson, he asked if I saw him, and I was like, no. But when I was passing the morning, I saw the door and the shutter door open. But I thought he went upstairs or he went next door. So I'm saying I won't stop because I'm going to come up here, get ready to go back because the workmen were going to come. So he came and he asked if I saw Daddy, and I said no. And he showed me the letter because he found the letter on his bed. And when I read the letter, I told him to go down by the tank because there's a tank right down there. And when he went down there, that's when they saw him floating.
And residents in Dalvey, St. Thomas now have access to free Wi-Fi internet through an ongoing Universal Service Fund USF initiative. Member of Parliament for St. Thomas Eastern, Dr. Michelle Charles, welcomed the investment, saying the installation opens up new opportunities for the community.
Economic opportunities. Entrepreneurs and small business owners can reach broader markets, engage in e-commerce, and utilize digital tools to enhance their operations. Healthcare, telecommunication and telemedicine becomes accessible. As an oral medical doctor myself, sometimes I do x-rays on someone's WhatsApp. So that is something that is good. The community Wi-Fi will benefit all ages, and we've already heard that. So we are really, really grateful. I can promise you that the Dalvey community will take care of the equipment.
With reports of paternity fraud on the rise, key stakeholders are speaking out about emerging trends. CEO of 876 DNA test Terrain Dewar says the data reveals intriguing insights, including the distinction between paternity fraud and paternity misallocation.
So the core of the word fraud tells you the difference. So fraud is when somebody knows
the mens rea is there.
Yes, yes, the mens rea is there, right? Where they know and they deliberately assign parentage to the wrong father. And the paternity misallocation is when they're genuinely not sure. You're not sure of the data conception. You may have had 2 sexual encounters in close proximity to each other. You're not genuinely sure. So they assign parentage to the person who is most convenient, the person who they're with the most. What the data is in essentially saying that people who has doubts and sought confirmation through a DNA test from 876 DNA test as the country's leading DNA testing company, almost 50% of them confirm their doubt that they're not biologically related.
Right.
70% of calls and inquiries that we get for DNA testing come from women. So the mother of the father who has doubt, the father's sister or new girlfriends. They are the ones who are triggering calls. And then we also see a number of calls coming from women who have been accused of paternity fraud who are defending themselves.
Right, or clear their name.
Clear their name, right? About 30% of the calls come from men.
And with that, we take a break. More to come.
Is your conformance testing partner with over 54 years of serving Jamaican businesses. Our world-class lab testing services ensure the safety of your food and commodities that you take to market. We are positioned as a business enabler, driving business development, competitiveness, trade, and ensuring consumer safety. We have 5 times the capacity to test over other local labs, plus 10 labs with accredited tests and calibration. We set the standard that promotes safety to consumers in a number of industries, including food processing, agriculture, and construction, having tested over 57,000 products on average annually and growing.
Hi, my name is Velton Gooden and I'm the Executive Director of the Bureau of Standards. Let us take your products from lab to market.
At the Carpet Store, we bring comfort to every step with flooring that blends softness and style. From carpets and rugs to durable vinyl flooring and expert installation services, we have everything you need to transform your space. And when it's time for a refresh, our carpet and upholstery cleaning service brings your flooring back to life. Visit us at 18 Dunbarton Avenue, Kingston. The Carpet Store, because you deserve the best.
Hey you know all the people in your business?
You should take advantage of CVM TV's unbeatable small business advertising package. Trust me.
And get your goods and services in front of your customers today.
For $150,000, you get a high-quality professional commercial.
Plus 20 prime-time commercial spots.
That's massive exposure at a fraction of the cost.
Including on the #1 morning show in Jamaica, Sunrise.
So don't wait. Call us on 658-208-5377 and see your business goals happen right here on CVM Television.
Welcome back. You're watching CVM News at noon. A 7.6 magnitude earthquake struck just after 6 p.m. local time on Saturday, February 8, near the Cayman Islands. The quake sparked fears of a possible tsunami and raised questions about Jamaica's emergency preparedness and response protocols. For more, here's Joel Williams. Joel Crosskill.
A release posted on the social media platform of the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management ODPEM at 10:40 p.m. acknowledged that Jamaica was issued an advisory for a possible tsunami wave. However, the main areas for concern were Honduras and the Cayman Islands. In a statement this morning, Opposition Shadow Minister of Local Government Natalie Nita Garvey questioned the scope and speed at which that information became available to the public, while speculating on what it may portend should Jamaica ever face such an environmental threat.
Yesterday at 6:30 p.m., Jamaica was placed under a tsunami alert. This alert lasted for about an hour and 10 minutes before it was lifted. But let me be clear. During those 70 minutes, the people of Jamaica heard absolutely nothing from their government or from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, the ODPEM, the very agency responsible for keeping us informed and safe. Had a tsunami actually occurred, the consequences would have been catastrophic. Why? There was no bulletin issued to warn the population. No instructions were given on how to respond to such an event. Nothing, save for a release over 3 hours later, which informed us as an advisory but denied that there was even a warning.
The ODPEM release indicates that the tsunami advisory was at no point elevated to a warning for Jamaica, whilst also providing insight into the protocols involved in such a scenario, stating that ODPEM, in conjunction with the Meteorological Service of Jamaica and supported by the JCF, made notifications to both the national and parish response mechanisms before an all-clear bulletin was subsequently issued for the region. However, Nita Garvey asserts that Jamaicans were largely left in the dark during the period.
This is not just a failure, it is a gross dereliction of duty. The Ministry of Local Government and the ODPEM have acted in an extremely irresponsible manner, leaving our nation vulnerable and in the dark during a potential crisis.
Though we were unable to contact a representative of ODPEM directly in relation to the concerns, a recent JAS Get the Facts appearance by Acting Director of ODPEM Richard Thompson as part of Earthquake Awareness Week provided some emergency management context to consider.
In the hazard realm, there are rapid onset events and there are slow onset events.
Okay.
So your hurricane is a slow onset event. You see it being formed 2-3 weeks before an impact. You see it coming. For earthquake is a rapid onset event because of that rapid movement of what we call the plates, right? And for us in Jamaica, we sit on a very active
fault line,
plate system, and we have a lot of fault lines running through Jamaica. So we sit at the boundary of the Caribbean and North American plate margin.
According to Thompson, Jamaica averages approximately 200 earthquakes per year, admitting that the island's vulnerability to earthquakes makes it a priority of ODPEM and in general the government of Jamaica to ensure the necessary measures to prepare the population for any onset events are in place.
I'm calling for an urgent review of Jamaica's disaster alert and warning systems. We must ensure that these systems are fully functional, supported by adequate response mechanisms, expertise, and funding. What happened last night was nothing short of scary. It is unacceptable, and the minister, as the accountable officer, must immediately provide the nation with a credible explanation.
Joel Crosskill, CVM News.
The St. Elizabeth Police have reported major breakthroughs in the fight against crime, with the recovery of illegal firearms amidst intensified police operations in the parish. Commanding officer for the division is Superintendent Coleridge Minto.
We do take note that there was a gang that apparently was trying to take root, but I know that the police force has stepped up their efforts in ensuring that that gang is totally eroded and soon to be eradicated.
But the gang has been impacted in a very significant way, sir. At least 2 of the members who were fatally shot in the last 2 weeks are aligned to that particular gang. And there's no secret, it's a speculation gang.
Yes.
We have been...
Well, I don't give them names because they're not important. We don't elevate them in the minds of the public. We don't want them to become superstars and heroes. And no, they are criminals.
Jamaicans are being encouraged to work with police.
Give information, and believe me, that is the highest thing you could do as a citizen, to give information on the criminals, to separate them from yourselves, to push them out, because ultimately they are not there to protect you, they are there to harm you. So I'm very pleased with the report that I've received here. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And I firmly believe that this area can be the most peaceful area in Jamaica.
And internationally, China's retaliatory tariffs on about $14 billion worth of goods from the United States are now in effect. Beijing announced the move last week after the U.S. imposed the tariffs of 10% on all Chinese products. Here are the details from Al Jazeera.
China has added extra tariffs on a range of American imports. Coal and liquefied natural gas will be levied with an additional 15% tax. Crude oil, farming equipment and some vehicles, 10%. The move is Beijing's response to the Trump administration's added 10% tariff imposed on all Chinese imports to the US at the start of February.
Trade and tariff wars have no winners. What is needed are not more tariffs, but dialogue. We urge the U.S. to correct its action and stop weaponizing trade issues.
China is also hitting back by filing a lawsuit against the U.S. at the World Trade Organization, sanctioning 2 U.S. firms, tightening control over the export of rare earth minerals to the U.S., and launching an antitrust investigation into tech giant Google. China's first move in Donald Trump's continuing trade war against it is relatively restrained, affecting less than 10% of its annual U.S. imports. But it does carry a warning for Washington. Beijing doesn't want an extended trade war, but it is ready for one and can now cause more damage to the U.S. economy than it did during Trump's first term.
China really learned the lesson from the first Trump administration. It's not wise, to immediately take a dramatic measure against Trump. Because at the end of the day, we know for sure Trump is a very transactional.
Trump wants to decrease Washington's trade deficit with China, which